The apple wasn't magic, it was poison, and the woman who offered it was family. Tonight on A Veil of Crime, we look at one of the most famous fairy tales in history, not as a story about beauty or dwarfs or glass coffins, but as something far older and far darker. A story about jealousy, inheritance, and a stepmother who tried again and again to kill a child. This is Snow White, and you're watching A Veil of Crime. In the Grimm version, a young princess grows up under the watch of her stepmother, a queen obsessed with beauty and status. Each day, the queen consults her mirror, and one day, the mirror gives her an answer she cannot tolerate. Snow White is now the fairest. The queen responds not with anger, but with calculated violence. She orders a huntsman to take the girl into the forest and kill her, bringing back proof of the deed. The huntsman cannot bring himself to do it. Instead, he releases Snow White and kills an animal to deceive the queen. Snow White escapes into the forest and finds refuge in a home of 7 miners. But the queen is not finished. She disguises herself and returns, again and again, each time attempting murder. A tightened bodice meant to suffocate her, a poisoned comb placed in her hair, and finally, the poisoned apple. This time, the plan works. Snow White collapses, appearing dead. She is placed in a glass coffin, preserved like an object, until chance, not justice, brings her back. Snow White is often mistaken for pure fantasy, but its core crime is one of the most historically documented forms of violence: poisoning inside the household. Between the medieval and early modern periods, court records across Europe show repeated cases involving stepmothers attempting to eliminate heirs, rival noblewomen using poison, servants bribed or forced into assassination attempts, children targeted because they stood in the way of inheritance, and poison was known as a quiet weapon. It left little evidence, required no strength, and could be administered by someone close to the victim. The most dangerous attackers were often not strangers, but relatives, caregivers, or members of the household. In early European inheritance systems, a stepchild could represent a financial burden, a threat to inheritance, a rival for social power, or a reminder of a previous marriage. Court records show numerous cases of child neglect, forced marriages, poisonings, and attempted elimination of heirs. Snow White reflects these tensions. The evil queen is not a witch. She is not supernatural. She is a woman with power, resources, and motive, and in that sense, she is historically recognizable. Snow White was not originally a romance. It was a warning about jealousy within the household, the danger of inherited power, and the quiet methods used to remove rivals. Unlike crimes committed in forests or on roads, these happened behind closed doors, where no witnesses stood and no patrols passed. If justice came, it came late, if it came at all. So the story preserved the truth instead. Like the Pied Piper, the robber bridegroom, the juniper tree, Hansel and Gretel, and Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White survives because the crime behind it was recognizable. Not rare, not mythical, recognizable. Grimm fairy tales are not fantasies. They are compressed crime histories shaped by fear, repetition, and memory. In this one, the threat didn't come from the forest. It came from the throne. If you want more historically grounded crimes hidden inside Grimm fairy tales, subscribe to A Veil of Crime. This episode is part of the Grimm Fairy Tale Crime series, where folklore meets real historical violence, and where the stories were never meant to comfort. They were meant to warn. Watch the full series only on A Veil of Crime. If you'd like to support this channel and help keep these stories researched, written, and told, you can support A Veil of Crime through Buy Me a Coffee. The link is on the channel. Every contribution helps to preserve the crimes history tried to soften or forget. The apple wasn't magic, it was poison, and the danger wasn't a monster, it was family. Thank you for watching A Veil of Crime.